Hi. Hello. Hi there. This is the first time I'm gonna be doing anything sort of like this, and I'm a little try to get through the beginning of this pretty fast because it's actually gonna be a lot of sort of explanation why I'm doing this. I'm sort of taking a page out of a lot of people's books that do collecting and stuff on YouTube and whatever. Particularly my friend Mike and other people. A thing that I berate myself for all the time is the fact that I do collect a lot of games, and because I'm always busy doing something that I think because I have to review something, or because I'm doing the N64 games, and the N64 games specifically are the only things that I really have a huge drive to play that I'm not going to specifically review. I don't not collect things because of my focus on other things. And then I end up not playing other stuff, and it frustrates me, and I just feel crappy about it. So I always feel this need to do something with the games that I'm buying constantly that I end up just throwing into my backlog that I never really make a dent in. So what I'm going to do today, and today there's probably also going to be a Video Games Monthly box, so I'm also trying to take care of this before I do that, so this can kind of be separate. But yeah, I'm going to talk about some recent pickups that I made, and I just kind of went through the stuff that I remembered, I think, what I got over the past month, because obviously this is my first video. I'm not going to show you everything. But yeah, I'm just going to show some stuff that I got this past month and tell people that it exists and that I have it, and a little thing. And one very last thing before I start is everyone, I assume a lot of people know I work at Core Gaming, the store, and you might assume that I got all this stuff from here. I didn't. I do. I buy things when I find them. I'm a collector. You don't just look in one place. Even if you work there, you don't just do that. And I'm kind of torn between whether people would be like, oh, he buys all this stuff from the store so nobody else can get it, or, oh, he goes out and buys stuff and he doesn't even spend money in his own store. It's all a mishmash thing. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about where I got things and how much I paid for them unless it's a really specific thing. So I'm going to try and avoid that. I'm usually bad at that because it's such a big deal to me because I know what I'm doing with stuff, but anyway, that's kind of what this is. I've spent 3 minutes talking about this, prefacing it and everything. And there's actually a fair amount of games to get to, so here we go. So first thing I'm going to talk about is just the 2 Switch games that I have on physical right now. This game doesn't need to be talked about. It's phenomenal. 10 out of 10. I've already played it. One of the only times I'll ever say that. The other game, which I have played, and I wrote up my review for it the other day, and that's coming. Has been Heroes. $20, physical copy. I'm always cool with that. I love these games, and it's not the last time that you'll see something like that for me to talk about. Let's start. What system do we start with now? I might as well start with Game Boy. Now, I don't really collect a lot of Game Boy stuff. But when it's available to me and there's actually stuff that I like, I'll go ahead and do it. So, here's a couple things that I picked up. This is which one is this? Monster Rancher Battle Card GB. The Monster Rancher has always fascinated me because of the way that the CDs and switching stuff works. And also Tecmo as a company has always kind of fascinated me because of their obsession to put their name on every product they make. So this is my first Monster Rancher, anything that I'll have really played if I ever get around to it. And I don't really have that much else to say about it. Next one is, you might have seen this talked about recently on other people's channels like Metal Jesus and stuff. It is Wade Hickston's Counterpunch, it looks like shovelware. It really does. It looks like shovelware, and that's why you pass it up over and over and over again. But it's a weird, oddly effective Punch-Out clone that I hope to play someday. With a lot of quirky attitude and stuff, and I love stuff like that. So This one here is Road Trip Shifting Gears. It's one of probably like 5, 6 Penny Racer based Game Boy Advance titles, and one of dozens of games based on those toys. But this one specifically, I did want it. I would have gotten it as soon as I found it anyway, because it's not expensive. The reason I got it is because I do have the GameCube game that goes with this that connects to this cartridge to unlock stuff in the GameCube game. And I always like to take advantage of that. I just think it's cool to have those games and have that option available to me. I try to collect all the Game Boy Color games that use the transfer pack because I'm an N64 freak and I always want to use it, even though very, very few games actually used it. And 2 more, like, pretty actually big deal Nintendo ones that I was really glad to get. I already had Oracle of Seasons for Zelda, and this is WarioWare Mega Micro Games is the title of this one. And I love WarioWare. I love Rhythm Heaven. Those types of games are really great. This one, Alexi actually had said to me that her and her sister, them and their sister, had both of the games when they were kids, and Alexi had Ages, and their sister had Seasons. And so I had Seasons before, I didn't have Ages, and I made sure to kind of grab this one just because having both, it's a cool thing. Next up, I haven't bought a whole lot of PS3 games lately, but I ended up getting these 2 here. Sly Cooper, because it's Sly Cooper. Found it for a couple bucks, definitely wanted it. Have all 4 Sly Cooper games, that's always good. And anyone who knows me lately knows that I've gotten huge into wrestling over the past year almost at this point. And to the point that I will grab for a couple bucks a game based on AAA. Not supposed to be a great game, just like the TNA game, but it's cool when you see other stuff like this, and I definitely want to pick it up. Next is 2 PS4 games. Now, if I had started doing this a couple months ago, I would have actually done a lot of PS4 games. And anybody who reads any of my stuff on Culture Shocked or anything like that knows that my favorite games, actually, this is, one of the things that defines the type of games I really like, which is these indie games that are getting physical releases. They may not be for everybody. I always say that. Not every game is for everybody. But this one sounded cool, and I pre-ordered it even on Amazon, and it was like $16. It's $20 retail, and it's sort of like a strategy game where you take a police chief and you have to do various things to save up a nest egg for him. And what I really liked about it is that it completely admits that police usually are corrupt. And that's a sort of thing that you can choose to take advantage of or not in this game and face the consequences of such. And then this one, it's still really, really cheap on Amazon. And I don't think it's a game that I'm going to be really in love with or anything like that. But when you get it so cheap, and it's about like ghost hunting and stuff, Tokyo, so it's the full name, and I know it's a port of a PS3 game or Vita game or whatever the fuck it was. Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, Daybreak, Special Gigs, and then it says World Tour on there. So, yeah. Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, Daybreak, Special Gigs. That's the full title of this version of that game. Moving on, I do tend to, there's PS2 shit everywhere, man. And more often than not, I do find myself, grabbing a couple titles here and there because people always have them for a couple bucks. And so here's a couple games that I've gotten over the past month. This one is Devil Kings. It's funny to me that they're still going with this franchise. You might see this franchise around on PS3 and PS4 as Sengoku Basara. And basically, Capcom had Devil May Cry, Onimusha, and this series all pretty much around at the same time on PS2. And this first game, didn't do so well, but Onimusha ended up being the series that they kind of abandoned. And they've been going really strong with this one, and of course with Devil May Cry, so I always thought that was interesting. And I don't know how good this one is, but I think Onimusha was great, and I think a lot of people agree with that, so I'm interested to find out what that's all about. And finally, a game that I've actually played since I picked it up, Flipnik Ultimate Pinball. I really actually wanted this one for a long time. It's sort of like a surreal pinball adventure. There's a couple different stages, but they all have different multiple areas and everything like that. It's like I said, it's really surreal, and it's a little bit addicting, really, like good pinball is, and I love pinball games, so definitely take a look at this one and see kind of what I mean with the environments and the music and all the stuff that goes into it that makes it just a weirdly surreal, immersive experience. Excuse me, that you don't really get from pinball much. It's very different for a pinball game. Next up, this is Drive to Survive, and of course I love car combat games and everything like that. So whenever I see something like that, even if it's supposed to be not great, I do try and pick it up because I love it. And oddly enough, this is made by Empire, who you see on the Flat Out games and also on like Ford Racing and like 50 different other racing games from the PS1, PS2 era. And so this one I've seen a little bit. It's not like spectacular. It doesn't blow you away with the visuals or anything, but it's kind of good, simple fun, and I'm looking forward to seeing if there's like a campaign mode or anything I can take on. But it's obviously not Twisted Metal, like story based, anything like that. And sometimes you just grab games that are punny, and that's Eggmania. It's a weird puzzle game, and it's not like Eggs of Steel, like it's a platform or anything. It's a puzzle game. It is what it is. That's it. And of course, an absolute mindfuck of genre combinations, weird game, Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Zombie Ninja Pro-Am. And I don't even really watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force, but seeing this game, it's a combination of golf and beat 'em up and racing, actually. Crazy, weird combination, and it's not. I've seen reviews. It's not a great game. I played a little bit of it. It's alright. It's more for a fan of the show, I'm sure. But I still enjoyed it a little bit. But I only tried it for so much. A game that I'd been well aware of for like a good 15 years, even as a kid, Dr. Muto. It's a weird midway, very very midway sort of attitude style to it, but like platform adventure. So always cool. Let me give that a shot. Two Wii titles. This one's Deadly Creatures. You might have heard one or two things about it at the time it came out. It was definitely like instantly relegated to sort of like gem status. I love weird things, and this might not look that weird at a glance, but you'll agree with me that it's weird as shit because it features Billy Bob Thornton and Dennis Hopper's voice talents. And the gameplay itself is you're a scorpion and a tarantula at different stages. So I heard it's pretty good. Might be alright. But weird as shit, so I'm into it. And of course, I still haven't even played the first one, even though I really, really want to. But Endless Ocean, beautiful, just pretty relaxing games. Like I said, I played Abzu, which was like a 4-hour game, and I thought it would be more like this, but it was a completely different game. It was still good and everything. But there's Endless Ocean and the sequel, Endless Ocean Blue World, which has been getting tougher to find, so as soon as I found it, I was like, yeah, I really want that. Blue World. If I end up liking the first one, I'll jump right into this one. So, two GameCube games here, which actually are very similar. There's Lost Kingdoms and Baten Kaitos, however the fuck you say it. Both sort of card-based action RPGs. Actually, I think this one's turn-based, but this one's more action RPG. But either way, both really cool GameCube titles that don't show up anywhere else, and I kind of wanted both of them for a while. And the thing that made me actually get both of them is that I wanted these, And there's a new game coming out, I think it just came out, called Armagallant or Armagallant Decks of Destiny for PS4. And it's like $20 on Amazon, but I wasn't sure if it would be any good. Even though I really love like weird card battle games, I'll try any new game that comes out that's based on something different and try and get into it. So instead of buying that one, which I wouldn't be sure about, I bought these two, which are supposed to be really good. So that's what I'm at for right now until Armagallant comes out and I get a better idea of what it's all about. 2 games for the Dreamcast. First one here, another wrestling game, WWF Royal Rumble, and there's 4 wrestling games on the Dreamcast. 2 are ECW Acclaim games that are crap because ECW deserves better. The other one's Attitude, and then this one is by Jack Specific as well, and it's based on an arcade game, so it's very, very simple. Not a whole lot of depth to it, but I find it, like, because it's an arcade game, it's more of a jump into it game, and it's kind of fun in that regard, and becomes an absolute clusterfuck at various points, so you might not like that, but it's a cool game. Definitely was into it. And then one of many racing games on the Dreamcast, but one that I specifically had looked at and had my eye on is Speed Devils, and this is Speed Devils Online. There's 2 versions of it. Speed Devils and Speed Devils Online Racing, and Online Racing is not online only. It's just sort of like a complete edition of the game that came out earlier. There's twice as many cars in it, and there's all sorts of, like, it's based on, like, gambling cars and, you know, putting up pinks and stuff like that. It looks really cool. It reminds me of some of those weird, not sci-fi racers, but not realistic arcade racers, and not like Cruisin' or Rush Simple. Games like Rumble Racing and the Hot Wheels one, stuff like that. That's what it reminds me of. So, you know, I don't love racing games enough to play like all of them, especially on Dreamcast. So you pick and choose, and I picked this one. Second to last for systems, I actually got quite a few original PS1 games, which I don't usually find a lot of really great ones, but let's actually grab 2 right here. 2, basically, I want to say mascot platformers. Tiny Tank's not so much a platformer, but 2 that I had known about and kind of wanted for a while. This is Taifu, Wrath of the Tiger. This one's by DreamWorks, and this one is by, is MGM? MGM, yeah, also developed by Appaloosa Interactive, who, I think they made the Jaws game. But yeah, that's two not that expensive mascot platformers they're decent and worth playing, from what I've heard. For PS1. No manual on this one, but I've seen so many copies of this and never see manuals for it. It's so weird. Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen. I think this is the first game from Legacy of Kain. And I would think that I would be really into all the Legacy of Kain games because of their style and the vampires and everything. But I tried Defiance, and I think I tried Soul Reaver 2, and I wasn't super huge into either of those, but I wanted to give this one a try because this is more like a old school top-down Zelda style. So I might like that one, and that's why I wanted to grab that. Sometimes you see games that you don't know what the fuck they are, and, you know, Slamscape, and I looked up some reviews for this after the fact, and it's not supposed to be very good. Whatever. I have it now. I'll get to it eventually. I kind of didn't want this that bad, but most of you probably know this game by now. It's the Star Wars Masters of Teräs Käsi, or Teräs Käsi. It's a Star Wars head-to-head fighting game, if you don't know what it is by now. And it's bad. And I'll tell you straight up why it doesn't make any sense. Characters have lightsabers. You hit the other character with it, and it's like hitting them with a staff in Soul Calibur. It's just bonk. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Because the Star Wars head-to-head fighting game doesn't really make sense, does it? Star Wars Soul Calibur doesn't make sense. This is... I love the Oddworld games because of their style and everything, and I never had either of the Abe games for PS1, so this is Abe's Odyssey right here, which is like a puzzle-solving side-scroller. It's supposed to be very difficult. But, I love Stranger's Wrath, which is a completely different type of game, but I'm still, I like Oddworld, so I'll get into it. And, of course, me being fucking embroiled in old-school first-person shooters, I probably won't play this for a little while, but Alien Trilogy is a cool Doom-style FPS based on, of course, the Alien movies, and it's pretty good, from what I've seen of it, little bits I've played of it. Cool stuff. Finally, I have 3 Wii U games that I picked up this month. I love the Wii U. I am at the point where, the Wii U is just, right now, is the old system. And I think it's going to be a collector system, and good for me. I already had pretty much everything I want on the Wii U because I bought it when it came out because I wanted to play it. Let's go with the one that I'm not really ashamed of first, though. Warriors Orochi Hyper 3 or 3 Hyper, whichever it may be. I'm not a huge Dynasty Warriors fan, but it's a cheap one. If you find it, it's a cheap one on the Wii U. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to grab that. And then the last two games, I'm pretty fucking ashamed of that I actually bought them, but I bought Guitar Hero Live for the Wii U. It was $20 at GameStop. So this package, the one guitar package, they're on clearance. They're clearancing the shit out of these. It's $20. Go grab one if you're a completionist. I'm not even a completionist, but I'll tell you, I played that game when it came out. I love Rock Band. I love playing Rock Band 4. It's still one of the few games I still put into my system and play on a regular basis. I did not like this. I tried this. Did not like it. And of course the other one, I'm just glad that I waited on it. But this game that I've heard is barely even a game. This, again, GameStop is clearancing the shit out of these right now. If you have had your eye on it, this went from, I think, what was it, $50 when it came out for a game, and 2 amiibos. 2 amiibos right there. That's the main thing for me. It was $50 or something like that when it came out. And then when I buy games, especially that have been clearanced a bunch of times, I always peel off the stickers and I go through them to see how many times it got the price changed on it. And it went down to 30 and 20 and then 15, and I almost bought it at 15, and I said, no, don't do it. You have other stuff for the Wii U that you want. And then it was 10. I said, give me the fucking thing. Give me the fucking Animal Crossing thing. So that's stuff that I picked up throughout the month of March, pretty much. I'm glad that I made this video and talked about them, because I may never get to some of them, or just a very, very long time until I do. And that's the whole point of this, and there's probably going to be a Video Games Monthly box today, and there's probably going to be, I've made plans to do Madden 64 today, so I have a very busy day, and I want to get this out of the way and create more content for people all the time, because it's a big deal for me. So thank you for watching. I hope that this interested you. I might do more, but have a great day, and stay tuned for shit I'm doing today.